Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and a debutante puzzle setter today. It's Puzzle Tank. And we've got a German Whispers killer puzzle. I'll have a look at that in a moment. So Puzzle Tank said that, as was often the story for new setters, they started watching our videos, they got very interested in it, thought maybe they could set one themselves, and here we go. We're going to be having a look at 7 greens, 7 cages, and I'll do that in a minute. Don't forget that on Patreon, on the 1st of every month, we release a new puzzle hunt. August's is Rostam and his labours. We've got many other things going on Patreon, including crossword videos, sometimes a rehash of the same puzzle Simon did in the masterclass by me, sometimes the Times monthly club special, vicious beastie of a puzzle. Then there's connections videos every 4 or 5 days. Do check those out if you're interested in all the puzzling stuff that we have, and solution videos if you're a $3 a month Patreon. Those are all good things that go with being in the #1 puzzle club in the world. There's also, of course, our apps. And there is a line Sudoku app and a killer Sudoku app, and occasionally you do get mashups within those. They're great fun too. What else have we got? We've got, SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD linked under the video, and you can support Sven in his development of this wonderful tool. I heard somebody say they didn't think much of it the other day, and literally it blew my mind. How can you not think this is the best thing in Sudoku solving? Strange. Anyway, we've got loads to get through, but let's try this puzzle and I'll go through the rules now. So the first rule, the rules of 7 greens, 7 cages by Puzzle Tank begin. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So we're going to put 1 to 9 in every row, every column and every box. Along a green line, neighbouring digits differ by at least 5, so those two have a difference of at least 5, and those two do as well. Killer cages, digits in a cage can't repeat and must sum to the number in the top left corner if given, and it's a very simple set of rules today. If you've ever seen a green line in a Sudoku puzzle before, or a cage, you know exactly what they are. There was one cage without a number, we just don't know what that totals to. Give it a try. On the first link under the video, I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. Okay, are the cage totals good, or are the lines where to start? This cage total is where to start. From years of experience of doing killer Sudoku and other puzzles in which we do the sums of the numbers, I have learnt that 22 in 6 cells can only be done one way, and that is using, you can actually work it out if you know, especially if you know that the triangular numbers, most people don't know those, but it doesn't take long to learn that the lowest number you can add up to with 6 different digits is 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if you ask yourself, how can I increase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by just 1? You'll realise that if you try and increase 1, 2, 3 or 5, you bump into the next number and repeat. So you have to increase the top number, and this consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Now, the things that I tell you about German whisper lines are that 5 can never go on them because there's no Sudoku neighbour available, that they alternate high, low, because of the rule and the fact that you have to have a number higher than 5 and a number lower than 5. You couldn't have 2 of the same next to each other or you wouldn't get the difference. And finally, that 4 and 6 are difficult to place. I mean, this is beautiful. So what we learnt there is that these are of the same polarity, as we call it, high or low, and that therefore they must be low, because if they were high, they'd both be 7s. So now we know that yellow is low. The other thing, the third thing we know, I'm just recolouring blue for low, orange for high, because that's what I've got used to understanding. The other thing we know about green lines that I hadn't got to yet is that 4 and 6 are slightly difficult to place on them. They can never go in a position where the 2 neighbours on either side see each other. And that means that although this digit could be a 4 and this one could be a 6, This one has two neighbours that see each other. This one has two neighbours that see each other in the box. None of these can be a 6. And now we've only got one place left for 6 in box 9, and we can whack it in the corner. None of these can be a 4 by the same token. And that's slightly interesting because it means that 4 in the box is in that 2 by 2 area. And I put it in the corner when I can tell that it's somewhere within that region within this box. But the fact that it's somewhere within that region in this box means that in this cage, which also contains the 2 by 2 area, 4 cannot be in those 2 cells. So they're not 4. Oh, well, I just hit the wrong area, sorry. 4 cannot be in that cell or that cell. And maybe that's all I learn out of that. I thought that was quite interesting, but I ran out of goods there. Now, we've got kind of the opposite case. In this cage, the green line was largely outside it and doing work for us. In these 2 cages, the green line is largely inside the cage. Now, what does that mean? Let's try this being high. Yeah, up here, that is one polarity, and these are all the other polarity because they're all touching that one. And I'm just wondering, can this be high? Because maybe we're not going to get to the total required. Let's maximize yellow as a 9, maximize the reds, if they were low, as 2, 3, 4. And we've got to 18, but this cage needs another 17 to get to 35. But we've already used 9, so that can't work. Now, I can't improve my odds by going 8, 1, 2, 3, can I? No, it's impossible. So that won't work. And this time we learn from the green lines inside the cage what's going on, and yellow must be low and red must be high. And now we can have maxima of 7, 8, 9 and 2, that is 1 or 2. And that would get us to 26, and that doesn't comfortably leave. Once 7, 8, 9 are gone, we're not comfortably able to make 9 in this cell, but we can do it. There's a couple of ways. So that was interesting. This cage, well, it's a very different total. It's a lowish total. However, there's a slightly different situation prevailing because of the shape of the line. Up there, all these oranges had to be different. Right, I'm gonna, as usual, start with yellow and red, trying to identify what is high and low. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it this time, but let's say red was, we're looking for a lower total. 24 averages 4 per cell in this cage. Spot the pause while I had to work out 24 divided by 6 in my head. Now, therefore, when we consider this being high, let's minimize it as a 7. And then we could make these 1, 1, 2. And what are we up to then? 7, 9, 10, 11. These two, including a high digit, would have to add to 13. Okay, that's very doable. What about the other way around, if yellow was low? Let's say, well, again, we're minimizing. So we'd make yellow a 1 here. And these could both be 6s, and that could be a 7. 6, 12, 19, 20. And then these would have to add up to 4, including another low digit that wouldn't be... They'd both have to be 2s if we started with a 1 there. But it is possible, so I don't think we can just tell from the 24 cage what is high and low within it. And I might be missing something there, but that's what I'm going to stick with and try and do something else in the puzzle. What am I going to try and do? If this was high, it would be the 4th high in its row. Or maybe I just think about the numbers here, the minimums, the minima here, 6, 7, 8 and a 1. That's 22, so this could be up to 13 then. It would certainly need the remaining high digit. If this was 7, 8, 9, oh, this is, okay, this is a slightly interesting approach. If this was 7, 8, 9, 24, we'd be up to 25 or 26, we'd need 9 or 10 here. We'd need a high digit again. I think all 4 high digits are in this cage, and they are 9, 8, 7 and 6 and add up to 30. So the other 2 digits add up to 5. And all I've really learned from that exercise is that 3 is not in the cage. That's not even true. This could be a 6-3 pair. Yes, sorry, I didn't learn anything. No, I learned 5's not in the cage because the 4 orange digits are in it and 2 blues that add up to 5. I mean, I didn't really want... Okay, fair enough. That tells me 5's not in this cell. So in this box, where it can't be in a green cell, and now we know it can't be there, it's somewhere up here. I don't think that was on the solution path or really helpful. I'm wondering if I'm going to have to come back to the 24 cage and try and figure it out. That's strange. Because I don't think I can do this 35 cage. Maybe I could do more with the 22. So these digits include 4, 5 and 7. They must do. So the high digits around here are 8 and 9. And these are from 1, 2, 3, very obviously. That's not really advancing anything, but I should have done it before. Okay, that's low. So if these were both low, what then? I don't know, but the alternative is to look at that being low and say if these are both low, what then? And that's not really doing anything for me either. So I'm a bit stuck at the moment. Gonna have to try and figure something out. That was 1 or 2. So if these were low, they couldn't be 1 and 2. Right, let's go back to the hypothesis of red being low and yellow being high. So I'm going to have to, if those would have to include a 3 at least, if they were low, which is true given that cell, this would have to be an 8 at the minimum. So we'd have 8, let's just minimize everything, 8, 3, 1, 1, and we're up to 13, if I've done the maths right. And then these could add up to 11, and that's not actually very difficult. Or is it? Because I was speculating a 3 there. Okay, let me just draw in the numbers I was speculating to try and keep the idea of red being low and yellow being high down as low as possible in this cage. So 1 or 2 there means these are a minimal kind of 1 and 3, if in this work. That is a minimum 8. This is obviously 1, 2 or 3. Now what I'm getting interested in here is that we've got 1, 2, 3 triples in both the row and the column. And these 2 digits, that one's high anyway, and this has to be at least 4. Oh, these all have to be different. I've only just realised that because they're in the same cage. I can't have repeats. So we're up to 14. That has to be at least a 4, and that has to be at least a 6. And you're thinking this can work. Just. And so am I. And it would basically have to be this setup to allow that. This would be a 2, that would be a 4. This would be a 6, so that would be a 1. We would know exactly how this cage would go, but I was trying to show you what I was seeing in my head, and it's turned into a bit of a bifurcation, so we don't want to do that. Let's back out of that. There is literally one way, and we can get all the digits if reds are lows. That's quite irritating. Because it did just work and I thought it wouldn't. That would have forced this to be a 2. This would be 987 adding up to 24 and a 2 there, 26. Those would add up to 9. They would be 3 and 6. No, I can't just wave my hand that they would be 3 and 6. That's fine. Wouldn't these be 3 and 6? That was a 6 definitely in this scheme. Yes. I mean, that's weird, but it's definitely right. That's absolutely bizarre. Okay, what I'm going to now tell you is the only way for red, this probably isn't on the solution path. If you see something else at this point, tell me what it is, because I'm quite interested. But I'm going to go with this, because if red was low, we've got these 1, 2, 3 triples. And that's at least 4, and that's at least 6, and that's at least 8, because it's touching a 1, 2, 3. And that's 18. These are 1, 2, and 3. These have to have a 3 in, but that's a 6. So this would be the 3, 6 pair. And now suddenly that's forced to be a 2, because we've got a 1 here. And that 3, 6 pair, remember, that's going to prevent this being 3 or 6, but that being a 2 makes these 7, 8, 9. Just checking my maths. That adds up to 26. These have to add up to 9 without using 7, 8, or 9. Oh, you numpty, they can be 5 and 4. And I claimed 5 couldn't be in this cage, and I was totally wrong. Oh, bother. I thought that was really clever. I know it wasn't on the path, and that's partly because it wasn't right. Oh, that was really interesting. I've amused myself greatly there and annoyed you for some time, especially if you could see why I was wrong, but I was wrong. That didn't have to be. Not only could I not say that all 4 high digits were used here because I'd forgotten the case of 2, 7, 8, 9, 5, 4, but my claim that that would have to be a 6, 3 pair and would break, which caused this weird coincidence in box 4, turns out not to be true. Now, so I'm going to go back. I mean, I'd love it if red was low, because then we can just start filling everything in. What if red is high? I'm going to think about this again, because maybe I didn't do the thinking enough. And I forgot, of course, that these reds all have to be different when I was thinking about that. So let's assume they were 6, 7, 8 and a 1 here, therefore, because we're trying to minimize everything. Oh, yeah. That's 22, isn't it? Yeah, this was what I forgot, was that these all had to be different. They can't be high because they're at least 6, 7, 8. That's 21. You can't make up the other 3 cells. It's really, really very straightforward, and I've been on a detailed excursion for no reason at all. Red cannot possibly be high. Red is low, and now we can start filling these things in weirdly. So what we've worked out is we're going to have to keep these down to 1, 2, 3, and 8 there, and 6 here and 4 here, and I can just fill those in. 6, 4, a 1, 2, 3 group. We'll expand on that in a moment. That's 8, and now we've just managed to keep this total down to 24. The 6 has to touch a 1. That becomes a 2. That becomes a 3 in the cage. That becomes a 2. We are now cooking with gas. We get a 3 over here, an 8, 9 pair flanking it. That can't be 2 anymore. Let's go back up here. We've got 7, 8, 9. This pair adds up to 9. And they can't be 3, 6. We can use that now. And it's a 4, 5 pair. And here we go. So this is where we get to. These digits can't contain 1, 2, 3, 4. So they are very clearly a 5, 7 pair. These ones have a 4 in. It depends what those two low ones are. So they're from 1, 2, 3, 4. But in this row, we've got 6, 8. Why is my voice cracking? We've got 6, 8, and 9 to go. We need to put a 6 in this row. How about this column? This did... No, I was going to say it sees all of 7, 8, 9, but it doesn't. It only sees 2 of them. This, can that be high? It would be a 6. That would be a 1. Yeah, I don't have a reason that can't work at the moment. Oh, 8 is looking at that cell really straightforwardly. 9, 8, 9. I have a feeling that's not going to advance us, even though it was doable. Right, how about this cage, which adds up to 20? Plus that is 21. Subtract that from the secret number, the total of every row, column, and box in a Sudoku. 45, don't tell everyone. And you get 24, and these must be a 987 triple accordingly. That's what we should be doing. So we've got 987 there. I mean, I could keep on high-lowing. I won't do much more of it, but that's high, this is low. In fact, 987 there makes this digit a 6 by elimination. That's not a 6. 2, 3, 4, 5 have to go in these cells. That one can't be 5 because of the green dot. In fact, it can't be 4 or 5 because of the pair higher up. This one can't be 2 or 3 because of a pair higher up. Anything else? Is that a quad? No, not quite. Oh, 8 can't be in those cells, so it's there. That makes this one a 9. 7, 9, 8. 2 and 4. That can't be a 4 because there's a 4 in one of these. No, I'm not getting this done. Right. 3, 6, 1, 2. Looking up column 3 again. Feel like I might be soon be able to start colouring 4s and 5s, but maybe that point is not upon us. This is an interesting cage. This must exist to tell us that that digit is not the same as that, but I'm not sure that's helping me at this stage. Oh, 8 sees that cell, so we've got a 7, 9 pair in this column. 7, 9, 4, 5, 8. Yes, with the 3, 6, this is a naked pair. In bed together, it's a 1, 2, 3 there, 9, 7. And now this is 7, this is 9, and this is 8. This digit must be known, it's a 6. Now that can't be high because it sees 6, 7, 8, 9. So I am going to keep colouring for a second or two. This digit is high in a box which has 6, 7, 8, so that's a 9. These are just random low numbers now. But not random in this case, where 1, 2, 3 appear in the box. So that's a 4. This is now 1 or 3. Now in this box, we need a 9, then we need an 8, then we need a 7. These can't have a 4 in, so the 4 down here is resolved. They can't have a 3 in, so that's a 1, 3 pair left at the top. That digit's a 5. I am going to sort of stop colouring unless it's going to matter on these lines when I get to them. I like this puzzle. It's very clever. I did footle around with some poor technique there, but that's all right. I don't hate myself. Not this time. 3, 4, 9, 6 in the bottom row. We need a 2 in the bottom row now. I don't know where that goes. Okay, this pair needs a high digit, and it's not going to be 9 or 8. So it's going to be 6 or 7, and that's got to go with a 1 or a 2. This one can't be a 2. Maybe I don't know enough about 1s yet for that to be very interesting. These are all low as well, or low including 5. Oh, I need a 9 in the central box, and I've got 4 9s looking into it. That's a surprise. Now I need a 4 in the central box, and it can't go in any of those positions. So 4's in one of those. Should I be able to extend? Yes, hang on. This line can't be a 6. This digit can't be a 6 because both of those would be 1s. They see each other. If it's a 7, that's 1 and 2. If it's a 2, that's 7. Oh, let's think about this cage. Adding up to 12. If this was high, if it was 7, that would be a 1-4 pair with 1 there. If it was 6, this would be a 1-5 pair with 1 there. But if this was 1, these would add up to 11. They couldn't have, it's not quite enough information to do them. Okay, maybe I can use this funky cage here that's telling me that that's not a 7. 7's in one of these cells. Is that interesting? It doesn't look it. But this cage is here because it needs to be here, I imagine. Okay, how about the 18 cage that I've never even seen? That's not quite true, but almost. Oh, 9. 9 can be placed again in box 3. Is that the last 9 in the grid? It is. How weird. And maybe has a bearing on the 18 cage, which now doesn't contain a 9. So I know then that it doesn't contain a 1. I also know that it doesn't contain a 2. If an 18 cage contained a 2, the other 2 digits would have to be 9 and 7. So if 2's not there, we know it's not there. Now 2 in the box must be in one of those cells. That digit has become 1 or 7. Oh, I was going to say that's really interesting and stops this being a 7, but I'm wrong again. Lots of wrong deductions today, but hopefully only briefly. Now, if we were to put a 3, no, 4 is the next digit that would be fun to eliminate up here. If we were to put a 4 in here, it would go with an 8 and a 6, which would have to have the 8 there and a 4-6 pair here. I can't rule that out. I'd love to, but I can't. Okay, I don't quite know what to do next. Let's have a look at this digit, which can't be 2, 4, 8, or 9. If that's high, it's 6 or 7. If it's low, it's 1 or 3. I was about to announce this can't be a 2, which not only is not particularly helpful, but is absolutely blindingly obvious at the moment. Gosh, I don't know. Okay, the maximum of these is 6 and 5. That adds up to 11. So the minimum here... Oh, is that right? The minimum here is a 7. That is right. If the maximum for those, 6 and 5, is 11... that means the minimum here is 7, so that digit is 7 or 8. And if it's 8, we know this is a pair adding to 10 and is 4, 6. If it's 7, this is a pair adding to 11, which is 6, 5. So this cage is very limited, and I hadn't realised. 7, 8, 9, and 6 are gone in the row. Everything else is low, low, low. Now, what can we learn from this? Can that be high? If it was 8, 1, 3, yes it can. Oh, this was interesting. I didn't expect this to come down to only 2 choices. Maybe my maths is just poor. 3 is not now in that cage, so 3 is in one of these 2 cells and not there. So if this is low, it's a definite 1. Is that doing anything? I don't think it is. That digit, if it's a 1, one of those is a 1. Ah, that won't work. Why is one of those not a 1? Because it makes this 6 or 7, but that is unable to be 1 or 2 in that case. So we don't have a 1 in one of those cells. We have a 1 in the box in one of those cells, And that forces this digit, which I was pencil marking earlier. I'm just checking, why did I think it couldn't be a 2? Because 2's up there, yes, this is a 7. So that's not a 7. So this is getting quite interesting. If this is high, we've got 6, 1, 8. If this is high, it's a definite 8. If it's low, that's a 7, and this is 1 or 2. But it couldn't be 1, because that would be there. Wow, we've got really constrained here. This can't be a 2, since that can't be a 7. We're getting even more constrained. 2 possibilities for each of those cells. And still not quite enough information to solve them. This digit is 4 or 5. This one, if that's a 7 or a 6, this can't be a 2, so it's a 1. If that's a 1, I don't know, this can't be, well, 6, 7, 8 or 1 therefore. Now I must be able to do something here. Those can't both be high or we'd bust the total. So one of them is a 1 and that's not a 1. Now let's just add up the possibilities. One of these is a 1 and the other two add up to 11. But they could be 5, 6 in either of those cells, 4, 7 or 3, 8. Ah! I really thought I was going to have helped. I didn't. One of these is a 1. I thought that was going to be a big finding and finish things. It didn't. Do I know that one of these is a 1? Yes, because by the normal German whisper they're low. So that's not a 1 and this becomes a 1-2 pair. That is 4 or 5, but it can't be 4, so that's 5. This is 4. Oh, that being 5 makes this a 4-6 pair, and this into an 8 for definite. And that is now a 3-7 pair, and that takes 7 out of this cell, which I think takes 4 out of this one, because we need a pair adding to 11 apart from the 1. That can't be 7 anymore. 3, 7, 5, 9, 4, 2. This, in fact, is a 1, 6, 8 triple. What does that mean? It means this isn't 1, and one of these is 5. That's probably not the sort of information I need at this point. If that's an 8, we've got 3 and 1. If that's a 6, we've got 5 and 1. If that's a 1, we've got 5 and 6. Ah, it's just not quite resolving. Oh, 8 is looking at that cell. There we go. 2, 7, 1. This is not 1, so it's high, so this is low. This is not 6, because that can't be 1. I wonder if that was a relationship I could have established a little earlier. Probably was. Okay, there we go. I'm going to remove, I'm going to remove all the high-low colouring. That's what I'm going to do. This digit must be known now. Well, that one is first, and then this one is a definite 5. I've got a 2, 4, 7 triple at the top of the grid. We are definitely finishing this puzzle now. Still haven't figured out this cage. We'll do that in a moment. 3, 6, 8. That 8 has been used in the middle box, so that's an 8, that's a 3, that's a 6. That's 2 or 5, 2, 8, 7, 4, 9. That's not a 2. So that's now a 1, 3 pair, and this is a 2, 4 pair in the cage. And that sorts out 5 and 2 in the corner. This has become a 1. That's going to sort out 3 and 1 in the cage, the first cage that we looked at. Still think it was a very helpful cage. These are 1, 5, 6. And that must be a 6. There we go. So then I've got a 1, 5 pair. Not quite resolved. Doesn't matter. We've got 3 and 6 to go in here. They are resolved. Now, because that can't be a 7 in this funky cage, it's a 5. Then we get 7 and 8 there. That 5 gives us a 2, which is going to disambiguate the middle rows. And we can do the top ones as well, starting 7 there. And here we go, 4 and 5 to fill in, and that is the solution to 7 greens, 7 cages. Oh, loads of people have played that already. So it's been seen somewhere before, but it's excellent. And that's really good. I enjoyed that a lot. If somebody else has done a live solve, I suspect mine was worse. Anyway, thank you very much for watching us on the channel. It's always a pleasure to have you with us, and I enjoyed that a lot. Well done, Puzzle Tank. See you next time. Great debut. See you next time, everyone. Bye for now.